Hey, John, thanks for your work here in the second forum in week 8. Um, and I'm glad you're just picking up on sort of how a whole variety of Christian assumptions and tendencies really shape how we read these clashes between Jesus and other Jewish authorities in the temple courts here as we approach the climax of Matthew's gospel. And the way that you're, I think, kind of highlighting what Jewish authorities themselves in the aftermath of the destruction, what they conceived of as the way to govern their people going forward, I think it's worth really paying attention to. It's not a view, as you say, of one group having full command of the truth, but instead a sense that the truth is something that people live by keeping the questions alive, by pursuing it together, and by refusing to categorically, you might say, exclude certain views the from the table of study and debate. And I agree with you that we could really afford to conceive of the people of God more in those terms as Christians than we typically have. As you say, the fragmentation that Christianity exhibits by virtue of defining ourselves over against each other with certain doctrines, and not just defining that as a difference or something that divides us, but saying that, some people who hold the correct view are supposedly the true people of God, and others are not really Christian, or something along those lines. I think that whole mentality of what it means to be the people of God is something that we should renounce. And I'm glad you called us back here to the first question I asked you all to consider at the very beginning of this class, who Israel is, because I think that that remains the question for us, and that who the people of God is, who the people of Israel is, has not changed. That it is a movement of God that shapes certain people in the world to call out to Israel's God as their God. And it includes people who do that badly and unfaithfully. It doesn't sort of, by some kind of legal criterion, exclude those people and define them as not really belonging. Instead, in order to see what the way of the people of God is over generations, we have to kind of study our intergenerational history as a people and to recognize that even the promise of our life today, our future, depends on not disowning those who have lived badly, who have come before us, or those who are living badly now. And that might include us. So that's just a different way of thinking, I think, about the people of God, and more consonant with what Matthew teaches us about Jesus, who is baptized, lives, and dies in solidarity with his people in all of their corruption, as opposed to disowning them or leaving the judgment that is coming to his generation for others to suffer and not himself. That's just not the way that Jesus leads his people. This is where I think, Lutz is right to uh, recognize this anti-Judaism that runs deep in the Christian tradition. But I think he's wrong in his reading of Matthew, because he imagines Matthew as effectively advocating for a people of God where Christians replace Jews. And I just think it's a poor interpretation of Matthew's gospel and ignores all kinds of features of it, even if he's certainly correct that that's how the Christian tradition has largely interpreted it. So, thanks for your response, and good to be in conversation with you.